So Ohm's law, series and parallel connections. So the agenda for today, we'll be talking what is Ohm's law, ano ba yung Ohm's law na sinasabi natin, then how do we use it, paano natin magagamit ito. Third is on series connection of resistors. So last time we talked about resistor color coding. So right now, pag-usapan naman natin series connection of resistors as well as parallel connection of resistors. So ito yung Ohm's law class. So pakibasa ng description sa screen. Anybody from the group?
Me, sir.
Sige, go ahead, Danosnia.
Sir.
Sige, go ahead.
So, this states that the current flowing in a circuit is directly proportional to the applied voltage and inversely proportional to the resistance of the circuit, provided the temperature remains constant. Ohm's law.
So yan yung binabanggit dito, no? Current flowing. This states that ito daw ang law na to, nagsasabi na the current flowing in a circuit is directly proportional to the applied voltage and inversely proportional to the resistance of the circuit, provided that the temperature remains constant. Yes, yung question ko class is, what are the three electrical terms na andito sa slide na ito?
One, sir. Current, resistance of electromotive.
Okay, current, resistance, and electromotive force, or what we call the voltage. So yan. Kaya class, kung mapapansin ninyo dito, we have current flowing in a circuit, that is this variable na I. Okay? Ito namang directly proportional to the applied voltage, yan yung blue dito, represented by the variable E. And then inversely proportional to the resistance, this is actually represented by the variable R, such that this Ohm's law can be converted into this equation na I is equal to E divided by R, where the current is equal to voltage divided by the resistance. Okay? So I hope na klaro yan. Sige lang, kay later, we will be using this equation in solving problems. Okay? Let's now go to the next slide. We have here the variations of equation. So kanina, that was the equation kung solvo na to ang current. Okay? E over R daw. Kung solvon po na to ang voltage, it will be current times resistance. Okay? Pag solvon po daw na to ang resistance, it will be voltage divided by the current. So sa mao na siya class nga naataan ning triangle diri. Okay, kining EIR. So this triangle is actually a way para hinumduman nato ang equation or ang mga formula. For example, class, pangitaon ang current, tabunan lang nato ni mga part sa triangle. Okay, so kung tabunan nato ning I dire, this one, so ang mahabilin is E divided by R. So pag sulbon po nato ang E, this one, it will be current times resistance. And then kung sulbon po nato ang resistance, tabunan lang nato ni voltage divided by the current. Nasundan class? Okay lang?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sir.
so
Yes, sir.
that is the way. Mao ni siya ang shortcut or mao ni siya ang mas dali nga way para ma-solve nato ang mga electrical terms associated with the Ohm's law. Okay? Pwedeng solve na to ang current, pwedeng solve na to ang voltage, pwedeng solve na to ang resistance. Now, mas maintindihan nyo to class through an example. We have this sample problem. So in this problem, we have this diagram. What do we call this diagram, class? Based on our previous discussion.
Sir.
This is a
Pictorial
diagram. So pwede din sabihin natin, this is a wiring diagram. Pwede din. Okay? Now, using our idea kanina na natutunan about Ohm's law, we have here a given. Okay, dito sa ilalim. Sabi dito, given E is equal to 1.5 volts. And light bulb resistance equals 30 ohms. Okay? So, itong 1.5 volts class, para saan yan na quantity? Based on this circuit.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, it's for
Battery,
the
sir.
battery. Okay?
What
So, this
battery?
1.5 volts is for the battery. And this resistance, sabi niya, light bulb resistance is 30 ohms. Okay? So, this is 1.5 volts. And this is 30 ohms. Okay? The one that is pushing is 1.5 volts. Okay? And then the resistance or yung naglilimit ng kuryente is 30 ohms. Now, let's try to use what we learned kanina class ng mga formulas to calculate the current flowing through this circuit. Now, can you do it? Calculate the current flowing through this circuit. Okay, ganito class, I'll give you time to solve. Okay, siguro mga 2 minutes. And send your solution sa GC. Mas maganda class kung picture para makita natin. How did you solve the current flowing through this circuit using the Ohm's law? Okay, so we have answers dito, no? Si Gualberto, his answer is 45, 1.5 times 30. Okay, then kay there was an sent message. Kay Palye, 0.05 amperes. Okay, sige. What about the others? What is the value of the current? Bandalan, 0.05. Okay. Katulad kayo ni Palye. How about this one? Uy, we have 45 for Uy. Okay, sige. Guys, don't forget the unit, okay? Just like itong sinulat nila dito, it's 0.05, then the unit is amperes. Okay? Arcillas, okay? You have alag, 0.05. Alag your unit. Lagyan mo ng unit. Rizada, 0.05. Okay, amperes, sige. Okay, so marami ng 0.05. Sige, tingnan natin class ha. So for those na hindi nakapag-send ng kanilang solution, so let's try. Okay, tingnan nyo na lang itong solution. Okay, so we'll start with the formula. So anong hinahanap sa problem class? What was the unknown or ano yung hinahanap natin dun sa problem na yun?
Current, sir.
The current.
Current,
Okay.
sir.
So what's the variable or ano yung letra na nagrepresent sa current?
I.
Okay, very
I,
good.
sir.
Okay,
Ay,
it's
sir.
I. Now what's the formula for the current class?
Voltage divided by resistance, sir.
Okay, very good. Voltage divided by resistance. Okay, so this one. So kung ito na yung starting mo class na solution for this problem, then there's a great chance or malaki na yung chance that you'll have the correct answer, okay? Now, the given was voltage is pila daw?
30, sir. Ay, resistance.
Voltage,
1.5.
1.5.
1.5, sir.
1.5 volts. Okay? Now, the resistance is actually, ila daw?
30, sir.
30.
30 ohms, sir.
So we have 30. You have this one, 30 ohms. Okay? So now, kung ilagay natin sa calcu class, 1.5 divided by 30. Okay? Kayo na lang mag-calculate but sure, tama naman value na to. It's actually 0.05. Okay? This one, itong 1.5, highlight na natin. Yung 1.5 divided by 30, that is actually the 0.05. Okay, ma-solve ninyo. Now, the volts divided by the ohm, bahin natin ng kulay yan. Itong dalawa, yung volts divided by ohm, that's actually the unit for the unit ampere. Okay, pag dinivide natin yung volt at saka ohm class, will result to the unit na ampere. So, meaning, yung mga sumagot dun sa GC class ng 0.05, okay, those are actually correct. Very good, no? Now, there is a class, just an additional information. So, there is actually another way to write this answer. Okay? You have, di ba, 0.05 amperes. What we will do, class, is move this decimal place to the right 3 times. Okay? So, kung i-move natin to the right, this will become, i-move lang natin. Imagine na lang tayo, class, Imagine natin that this decimal point will actually move to the right 3 beses. So, 1, 2, and 3. Ila to, class? What will be the value?
50 amperes, sir.
Okay, it will become, okay, from 50. Since dito, nag-move tayo, nag-move na naman, then nag-move na naman, dito sa space na to, class, lagyan natin ng 0. Kaya magiging 50. Now, we will change the unit, class, from amperes, since nag-move tayo ng 3 beses, we will change it to milliamperes. So that's another way of writing it, na 0.05 amperes pala is just equivalent. Na yung 0.05
Yes, sir.
amperes is just actually equal to 50 milliamperes. So those are just equivalent. Okay? So that's for question number 1 or sample problem number 1. Let's proceed. Okay, let's proceed. Sample problem 1.1. Now, same circuit, class. So again, we are trying to understand, class, the concepts here of electricity. I'm sure yung iba sa inyo are already familiar with this. Pero dun sa mga hindi pa, kailangan natin itong balikan, class. Then importante to our next na mga topics. Again, we have it here. Ihimo na to, class, 1.1. Okay, this is just the same circuit kanina. Masabi natin dito, this sample problem has less resistance. Okay? Now, sabi dito sa given, voltage is 1.5 volts. So, the same voltage ng battery. Pero yung light bulb resistance, we change it to 1 ohm. Now, can you calculate? Okay? You calculate, class, the current for this circuit. What is the current for this circuit now? You send sa GC. Tingnan natin yung inyong mga sagot. Okay, we have 1,500 milliampere. Okay, sige. How about the others? Much better, class, no, if you can send the photo of your solution para makita natin how did you come up with the right answer. Okay? Alright, so I'm seeing great solutions, okay? So napansin ko, class, you started with the unit ampere, then you try to convert it to milliamps. So that's very good, okay? Okay, so I'm getting many correct answers. So ganito class, so that's correct, no? I will no longer show you the calculations, but those are correct. Yung na-solve din yun na 1.5 amperes or 1.5 amperes or 1,500 milliamperes is actually correct. Now, let me ask you class, what happened to the current when we decrease the resistance? Kasi kanina, di ba, 30 ohms yun. 1.5 volts, 30 ohms yung light bulb resistance. Ngayon naman, 1.5 volts pa rin yung light bulb resistance, ginawa nating 1 ohm. So there is a decrease in resistance. Now, what did you observe to the current? Anybody from the group?
It increased, sir.
Matukol, it increased. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Pila day ang current ganina?
50 milliamperes, sir. Then
50 milliamperes. Karon,
1,500.
so it increased. Okay, so that's our evidence. So thank you Matukol for that. So yun guys, no? That's a concept of electricity na kapag nag-decrease tayo ng resistance, our current actually increases. So thank you for participating on that activity. So that's for sample problem 1.1. Now itong 1.2 class, I will no longer solve this. We will no longer solve this. Skip natin. But I'll still give this to our GC. Send ko lang sa GC. Then mamaya, kayo na lang mag-calculate. Try to calculate and then you observe anong nangyari. When we increase the resistance, what happens to the current? I'm sure you already have an idea. So let's proceed to the next one. So sample problem 1.3. Again, the same. It's the same circuit. Now what we did here is given voltage is 1 volt. So we decrease the voltage, less voltage. From 1.5, ginawa natin 1 volt. And then light bulb resistance is 30 ohms. Now what is the current class for this one? What is the current for this circuit? Okay, we have an answer from Namo. 30 amperes. Okay, sige, tingnan natin. How about the others? Palye. Palye's answer is 0.033 amperes. For my bar sa ibabaw, no? Meaning ng bar class is pabalik-balik na yan. 0.0333333. Okay? Pakahaba, hindi mag-end. Or his answer is 33 milliamps. Sige, tingnan natin. How about the others? Still have 1 minute? We'll wait for your solution. It's the current for that circuit. We have Rizada. Rizada's answer, 37 amperes. Okay, malaki. Kaso Rizada, show your formula before the answer para makita natin. Sige, what about Bacote? Bacote's answer, same, okay, same with, Alye. Okay, tingnan natin. Bandalan. Okay. Sige. Lumanas, we have 33 milliampere. Okay. See. So, those are actually correct, class, no? Those who answered 33 milliamperes or 0.0 3333 amperes. That's actually the correct answer for this one. Okay? Now, again, question. Kanina, we use 1.5 volts, 30 ohms. Ngayon naman, we use 1.5 volts, 30 ohms. Now, what happened, class, to the current when we decrease the voltage? Anybody from the group?
Ano po yung question, sir?
What happened to the current? Anong nangyari sa kuryente when we decrease the voltage?
Gugamay, sir.
Okay.
Bumaba, sir.
Decrease ng currents.
Okay, very good, no? So, that's actually correct. So, when we decrease the voltage, ano yun, Gualberto?
Decrease ang current, sir.
Okay. So, we actually observe that, no? When we solve, na pag dinecrease natin yung voltahe from 1.5 naging 1, the current also decreased from 50 milliamperes naging 33 milliamperes. Okay, so that's actually the relationship here. Now, if we go back, class, balikan natin yung first natin na slide kanina about Ohm's law. Okay? So, this will be, dito tayo nagsimula. So, sabi dito, states that the current flowing in a circuit is directly proportional to the applied voltage. Yung kuryente daw, directly proportional to the applied voltage and inversely proportional to the resistance of the circuit. So based on our previous na mga solving class, what does this statement mean? Directly proportional, inversely proportional. What does it mean?
Kahit balik-balik mo, sir, equal pa rin.
Sino yan? Bandalan? Kahit ano yan?
Kahit balik-balik rin, sir.
Kahit balik-balik na rin.
Equal pa rin.
Okay. Sige, yan na lang natin ha. Let's try to divide the question para mas maintindihan natin. Current flowing daw, class, in a circuit is directly proportional to the applied voltage. What did you observe when we decrease the voltage? Ano nangyayari sa kuryente?
Gamay, sir.
Gamay. Okay. So what do you think, class, will happen if we increase the voltage? What will happen to the current?
Bumaba, sir.
Mababa ba?
Increase also, sir.
It will also increase. Okay? So meaning ng directly proportional, class, whatever happens to the applied voltage, whether it's increase or decrease, the same thing will happen to the current. Itin natin yun ha, whatever happens to the voltage will also happen to the current. Kung pabababain natin yung voltahe, magbaba po ang kuryente. When we increase the voltage, we also increase the current. So that's what is meant by directly proportional. Yung isa naman sa resistance is iba. The term is inversely proportional. Now, can anybody discuss what could this term mean? Inversely proportional?
Kabaliktaran, sir.
Sige daw, what does it mean, matukol?
Yung resistance, sir, kabaliktaran po siya doon sa sa voltage po.
Kabaliktaran. Sige, can you discuss further? How does it oppose? Why is it opposite to the voltage, resistance?
Kasi kapag yung voltage sa tumaas, yung current flow, sir, tataas din. But if in resistance, sir, pag bumaba po yung resistance, tataas po yung current flow din. Pag tumaas po yung resistance, bababa po yung current flow.
That's excellent. No? That's actually the way to say it. Okay? So meaning, class, itong mga words natin na binabanggit dito actually have deeper meaning. So sinabing directly proportional, inversely proportional, that's the shortcut of saying yung binanggit ni ng klase nyo kanina, si Matukol. Okay? Yung binanggit niya kanina na relationship between voltage, current, resistance, and current, ito yung nagsasummarize. Directly proportional, and inversely proportional. Now, let's go to this sample problem number 2. So here, class, we have this, kung naamoy motor, class, nga naay, tawag ini kana bitong serbato. This is actually serbato sa motor, no? We have a fuse, then we also have the switch connected to the battery, and this is the horn, okay, or the motorcycle, katong silbato niya. Now, given daw, class, is the voltage provided is 12 volts, 12 volts daw ni. And then somehow, we learned that the current flowing through the circuit is 4 amperes. Now, what do you think is the resistance of this device? Ilan ang resistance ni class?
3 ohms, sir. 3 ohms.
3?
3 ohms.
Okay.
3 ohms.
So 12, what's the formula for this one? Resistance is equal to
Voltage divided by current.
voltage divided by current. So 12 volts divided by 4, 12 divided by 4 is 3. Volts divided by ampere will be the unit na ohm. Okay? Sabi niyo 3 ohms. So that's actually correct. Now, before we proceed, how did you think, anong instrument kaya yung ginamit niya, class, to know the current flowing through this circuit? Kasi sabi niya 4 amperes daw yung current. Based on our lesson on tools, ano kayang instrument yung ginamit, class, to measure the current?
Ammeter.
Ammeter, sir.
Pwedeng ammeter? Yes, pwede. Ano pa?
Clamp.
Yun.
Voltmeter, sir.
Volt ba? Current, ha? We are talking of current.
Ay, sir.
Clamp, sir. Clamp.
Yun. Okay, yung clamp meter. Okay, na hindi na natin, doon na tayo, hindi na tayo maputol sa circuit, can directly measure the current. Okay. So that's for sample problem number 2. Kanina, we are solving for the current. Ngayon naman, we are solving for the resistance. Now, let's go now, class, to series connection of resistors. Okay? Series meaning, kabit-kabit lang na to from battery, then to switch, switch to resistor, resistor to resistor, resistor to ground, ground to negative of the supply. So series lang. Pasunod lang, no? Okay? So sabi dito, determine the total current flowing through this circuit. Okay? What do you think is the total current? Now, meron tayo dito, class, to solve for the total current, pag series, the total resistance daw is equal to R1 plus R2 plus kung pila pa na kabuk resistor. Now, question, class, on this diagram, pila kabuk resistors na to dire?
Duha, sir. Duha.
Unsa to nga mga resistors?
40 or 10.
40 ohms at saka 10 ohms.
10 ohms.
What is the total resistance of the circuit, class?
50, sir.
Okay, very good. That's actually 50 ohms. Now, solve for the total current flowing through this circuit. So, alam na natin yung total resistance. Meron tayong voltahe na 10 volts. What's the total current flowing through this circuit? Okay, I have a question, class. What's our formula for this one? Ano yung hinahanap natin dito? Ano yan?
Volts, sir. Volts.
Volts ba yung hinahanap natin?
Current.
Sir, current.
Okay, we are solving
Current,
for
sir.
the current. I, okay? Now, what's the formula for the current? It is
Voltage divided by resistance.
voltage divided by resistance. Where in this case, since this is series, yung resistance natin, class, will be the total resistance of the circuit. So this will be our formula. So pila daw ang voltage na to nga given?
10.
10 volts.
10.
Okay, very good. No, 10 volts divided by pila atong total resistance?
50, sir.
50.
50, sir.
50 para tayong 50 ohms. This is our solution now. 10 divided by 50 class, pila na? Ito muna.
0.2.
5
sir.
divided by
5 sir, 5.
5, sir.
Sir, 5.
Ganda?
0.2.
10 divided by
0.2.
50.
0.2 sir.
0. Okay. The answer class is actually 0.2. That's 10 divided by 50. Now, what about volt divided by ohm? Sa unit class, pag i-divide na to ang volt sa ohm,
Amperes.
0.2 ampere, sir.
amperes. Okay, very good. Totally correct. So meaning, 10 divided by 50 is 0.2. Volt divided by ohm is amperes. Now, what is the equivalent of this in milliamperes? 0.2 amperes or kung i-move natin para katulo,
200.
200, sir.
200. Very good. Okay, 200 milliamperes.
Ay,
Milliamp.
Binaka-ampere sa sir.
Nasundan?
Yes,
Since
sir.
i-move na to class, 3 decimal
Yes, sir.
places to the right, mag-change ang unit from amperes mahimong milliamperes.
Milliamp.
Okay, nasundan?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is the solution for this circuit. Okay, so that's for series circuit. So, kung sa ito'y formula class sa voltahe, kunwari, mag-solve ta og voltage. What's the formula?
Courage times resistance.
Okay, yun. Current times resistance. Now, pila to atong kurente? 0.0? 0.2.
2.
0.2. Okay? Now, what will be the voltage class if we multiply yung current times this resistance na 10 ohms?
2 volts, sir.
2 volts.
Volts.
Nasundan? So, this is 2 volts ang iyahang drop na to dire. Now, what about the same current, 0.2 amperes, i-multiply natin sa resistance na 40 ohms. Pilay voltahe dire class?
8, sir. 8 volts.
8 volts. Okay, very good. Now, this is 8 volts. This is pila ni?
2 volts.
2 volts. Now, what did you
volts.
observe, class? Kung ito 2 volts ang voltage drop, ito naman 8 volts, what did you observe?
Sir, dihati ang concert in volts, sir, sa Doka resistor.
Yun. Okay.
Depende sa bulb.
Sige. Sabi ni piano class, maganda yung term, no? Ano yung term of piano?
Sir, dihati ang 10 volts sa concert Doka resistor. Ang 2 volts, sir, na napunta sa 10 ohms, din ang 8 volts, sir, na napunta sa 40 ohms, sir.
So, nasundan nyo, class? There is actually what we call, in series circuits class, there is what we call voltage division. Okay? Yung 10 volts natin na supply, yung 2 napunta sa 10, and then yung 8 volts napunta sa 40 ohms. Nasundan?
Yes, sir.
That's the characteristic of the series connection. So sa kurente, pilay kurente ni Agi sa 10 ohms class?
2 volts, sir.
Kurente. Pilay kurente ni Agi sa 10 ohms?
8, sir.
Hindi, current.
0.2, sir.
0.2. Okay? Ang niagi sa 10 ohms na current is 0.2 amperes. What about sa 40 ohms? Pilay current nga niagi sa 40 ohms?
Same gihapon.
Same gihapon. Okay? So meaning, kung series atong circuit, the current is the same. Pareho siya tanan class. Ang kurente nga moagi sa imuhang resistor is the same current nga moagi sa another resistor is the same current nga moagi sa tuang supply. It's the same current. Pero in terms of voltage, there is voltage division. Mahati ang voltahe. Diri ang 2 volts, diri ang 8 volts. Nasundan?